Now that we've had a look at the basics of the SKO Grasshopper script, we're going to show you how it can be used to optimize the design of a lightweight S-hook. Here's what the final results will look like for both the 2D and 3D calculations. First, we're going to look at setting up the 2D calculation in Rhino. First, we're going to draw the construction space inside which the structure will be generated. In 2D calculations, you only ever need to draw on the top plane. Using the rectangle tool, I'm going to draw a rectangle for my construction space. And as mentioned earlier, I'm making sure to orient its shortest side along the x-axis. You can also designate a non-design space, which is the area in which you don't want any material to be generated. In this hook example, I'm going to draw where I want to cut out the space for the C-shaped hook form. Since it's a two-sided hook, I'll draw non-design spaces in both the top and bottom. I also want a center hole in between the two sides of the hook, so I can draw a circle there. Of course, I want to make sure that there's material left surrounding this hole. To do this, we can set a design space in the script, which is how you can force the script to generate material in a given area. For the center hole, I'll simply offset that circle that I drew. Now we're ready to start defining our parameters in Grasshopper. Open up the 2D SKO script and zoom into this corner. To set the construction space, right-click on that parameter, select Set One Curve, and then back in Rhino, click on the curve that you want to set. For the non-design space, since I have more than one, I'm going to click on Set Multiple Curves, then select them in Rhino. I'll go ahead and quickly do the same for the design space as well. Now we'll take a look at setting up the construction space for the 3D calculations. Rather than a flat curve, we need a three-dimensional volume for our construction space, inside of which the structure will now be generated. For my hook, I'm going to extrude the 2D sketch I drew earlier in order to turn it into a volume. For the non-design space, rather than drawing the curves in Rhino and setting them as the non-design space in Grasshopper, we can directly modify the construction space in Rhino. Using the Boolean difference tool, I'm going to cut out the open part of the hook. For the hole, I need a cylinder removed from the construction space as well. For the design space, I'll need another cylinder offset from the hole, as you can see here. Now we can open up the Grasshopper script for 3D calculations. The steps to set the curves are very similar as in the 2D script, but this time you'll notice that there are only parameters for the construction and design space, since we use the Boolean tool to cut out areas for the non-design space already. I'm going to set my parameters real quick now. Again, here's what the final calculations look like. The same idea goes for the 3D calculations. Ensure that you leave lots of extra space for the script to generate the structure, otherwise you risk cutting off what it would generate for the structure, and your result might look something like this.